Alright, this is a sheep farm, but do you know what? It doesn't give me a lot of wool. So obviously they're well fed, they've got grass, they've got food and water, and we can get some wool. But the grass will grow outwards, there's issues with it, they can't get out, but the grass won't grow back if they eat all of it. So how about this? If we put fences on top of the grass, we can get it to grow still, and then there's all these sheep. But it's still annoying to have to get the wool by ourselves. Turns out, dispensers with shears will actually shear the sheep and make trapdoors go up. But yeah, and then you can wait for him to get his grass grown back because it's covered up by fences, and eventually it'll grow back and he'll eat it. But what if we could do that automatically? So it turns out observers can be used for this, because if the sheep eats the grass, don't know how to get him to do it, I guess we'll have to wait. Well, if he eats it, it turns into dirt, which will update this observer here, which will detect the change, and that will set off redstone. So if we make that go up into our dispenser, and don't know how he escaped, but oh well. Be free. We've got another save, it's fine. So yeah, shears. Pull it in there, observers, so if we shear him, and then wait for him to eat the grass again, and obviously put some to the side so it'll regrow, then he will set off the dispenser. I guess we'll send our space program into space while we're waiting. To the moon! You're the worst. You know that, sheep? Space program going well, you know? Sheep program, not so well. Oh well, just take my word for it, it does do it, but this guy doesn't want to eat any grass. I do not have time for this. So yeah, well, if we could build more of these, and, you know, the sheep actually eat the grass, it would be amazing. But yeah, so if we just put some grass across like this, get our fences, and do a pattern a bit like this, then we've got all these fences stopping the sheep eating the grass there, and we can put observers on the side like we did with the previous one. So, rails underneath, and a hopper minecart. And then they'll collect up the wool, as you can see, so we just have to deposit that in a chest. So, as you can see with this one, it's kind of, you know, you can extend it outwards, you can make it bigger, easily. And the revelation I had is if you put slabs in front of the dispensers, because sheep are higher than one block, so you can't put a block above them, which you wouldn't want to anyway because of these dispensers, but yeah, you can put slabs above here. And that means you can fit another minecart right here on top of the sheep. And that means you can have another one of these farms right above this one. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And also, because these dispensers are on the other side, you can see they switch like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. This W shape. That means you can also have dispensers from another version of this farm right next to it. Like that. So I built a giant version of this. Using all of the things I just described. And what I do is, the minecarts go out one block to the side where these fences are, and we just have some hoppers going into a chest instead of these fences, so just like that, and then, you know, same thing above. The minecart will go onto a hopper here. Guess the chest is there on the design, because then you've got another hopper underneath like that, so yeah, it's kind of like this design. Like that, and then you just have your minecart going on these bits. Like so. So yeah, if you build a bunch of those, then you can have the hoppers going round, goes down all of these into the chest, and as you can see, it's got rather a lot of wool. You know, just a small amount. There may be a few shears from me breaking dispensers as well, but yeah, this is kind of insane, because this wool, I actually copy-pasted these machines just before I sort of recorded this. So this is running at quite an insane rate. I did do some work on it, but yeah, it's kind of Wool farms are crazy. Guess we'll need more storage. But as you can see, I've got the thing of the hopper going on it, and then I've also got these hoppers at the side. So what these are for is actually for depositing the shears, and I found out that I actually have a gap I can use at the side to sort of drop them down between levels. So if we just do another line for shear minecart here, like so, turn that on, and then this will turn it on and off. We can actually have shear minecarts for all of the hoppers, and I've missed for all of the dispensers, and have missed some hoppers here, so we'll do bam bam. Whoops. So yeah, the way you power the rails, you don't have to use all powered rails here. These redstone blocks shouldn't be there because I changed the design and added the hoppers here. So the redstone blocks, you can make them work by having them in the roof. So in the roof of the one above, if you just swap one of the blocks under one of the fence posts, because there's enough grass around it, the other ones will still grow. Then you can power the rails and the minecart will go around. I did try and make the shear minecarts go around the back here, so as you can see, this is a wall stopping them get out just on one side. I did try and make it go here, but this minecart going around in the middle interfered with it, because that'll mean I could get one minecart doing all of the shears. But yeah, didn't work. So you have to do one individual one kind of, and then you can do two here like this. So the point is, it's just a very, very big sheep farm that you can just expand loads and gives you a crazy amount of wool. So just to show you kind of what the modules look like for it, you have the top bit here. I'll get some sheep, I guess. So you have this top bit here, sheep, 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 like that. Like I said, I've got, of course, I forgot to take into account that there's sheep here, so I guess we'll move that redstone block to somewhere else, under a fence post. So again, as long as it's under a fence post, you know, there's enough grass that the other one should grow. Absolutely fine. So then you just have to get a minecart hopper to go around, so easy way to do that. Just get a rail aiming in that direction and push the hopper onto it. Easy peasy. And then, like I said, these... So I'll destroy this because this is just a bit at the side. So yeah, this is the basic design that I built at the start, and then, like I said, on one side we just have hoppers going down to deliver. So you have your hoppers going into the dispensers to deliver shears, and then rails on top with a hopper minecart. And then we can have hoppers going down, so you just fill it up and it'll fill up the entire column if you build loads of them. One thing is you can actually extend this infinitely backwards. So see how it's just the diagonal pattern that I built at the start of fence posts? You can just build it as long backwards as you want, so you can have a ridiculous amount. And then that's not even taking into account the ones going up and across. Yeah, but this is like shear delivery system, so like I said, turn it on and off. One way I was thinking of doing this, if you built this giant, you could actually have one hopper minecart that sort of falls down as it gets to the end and just runs along all of them. And because there's a gap here, you could also do that with the one collecting wool, but I think it'll just fill up too fast. You could have multiple, I guess. But yeah, this is just an easy way of doing it, and like I said, you have the hopper minecart collecting the wool, go over these hoppers at the front, and have hoppers above that will collect the ones from on top. So you'll end up with a bunch of, like, this pattern. Because the wool from this level is actually being collected by that hopper minecart, so the ones above will go into these, because it'll go over the rails on top of them. And it'll all go down, all the way down to the bottom, where you'll have a chest, and if you've got something like this, maybe you'll want a few more. So for the shears, like I said at the side, this is actually the two sides. So this is the one next to it. The dispensers would be aiming here. The sheep would be here. As you can see, when they get updated, they go off. So that's where your sheep would be. Fence posts in between the dispensers and then diagonally across like that. And then you'd have the observer dispenser thing on the other side as well. And you can just have one of the sides is the, or both the sides in this case, I guess, is the turn on and off. And then one of them where there aren't observers, which would be like here. Then you'd have the observers going down to send shears down. So you could just have columns of shears going down to refill the dispensers, because eventually the shears will run out, is the only issue with this farm. So you do have to keep making shears, so make an iron farm if you make one of these big. And yeah, so this will just turn on and off shear minecart, so I guess we'll get another hopper minecart if I can grab it. There we go. So just fill this up with shears, and like I said, you'll have ones coming in from above as well. So the reason this works is as the bottom minecart gets filled with shears, then all the hoppers fill up the minecart above, so the bottom one will always be the most full, but it just means that if you put enough in, it will go to all of the layers going up to the sky. So, like I said, if you turn this on, this is now a shear delivery system, so if one of the shears breaks, then it'll put a new one in, like so. The minecarts do interfere with each other, but that's why I did this layout, is they'd never stop each other using this layout. They'll always push each other onwards if any of them get stuck. Same with this one on the side. So like I said, you just build this module constantly across, and you're good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this insane kind of sheep farm. The most efficient way to do this by far is just to make it go backwards, because then it's just this 4 wide column of crazy amounts of wool. The minecarts might be a bit laggy. Like I said, you could experiment with using one minecart going all around, or several minecarts. I don't think they're that much of an issue, because there's no lighting changes or anything, which is the main laggy thing. And yeah, I'm proud of this design. I think the slab trick to have them next to dispensers so you can build another one right above it was cool. And also being able to refill the shears while keeping the footprint kind of it the same, except for the levers sticking out, I guess, was really dope. Space program went well. We have reached the moon from earlier. And I'll see you next one. I've been Iden. Bye. Adios.